Hello, how are you today? Let me put a little banner up for those of you popping on later. We'll put this up and I'll just talk until someone pops on here. I did not run the countdown timer today. There's a lot going on here at my house. So I didn't want to put any extra time. I just had one delivery and we have another delivery coming this afternoon, I hope, which I hope they can bring it to us today. How are you guys doing? Say hello as you pop on. Hey, Debbie, how are you? Hello. So as you're joining us, please say hello over in the comment section. Tell us where you're from or if you're making cookies right now. How about that? How about we talk about if you're actually making cookies right now? All right. I sent the text alert out. Funny story, true story. The text alert company that I use actually sent me back a message to retype my text message because the word flower, Flower, is now in the sensitive alert word category. So they gave me the option to check it or change it rather before I resent it. So hopefully everyone has received their text messages. So this was kind of funny too. I had ordered myself some lunch today because I just needed to order some lunch today. So, and it just got delivered like straight up at noon. So that's great. So let's see. No cooking out day job. I'm sorry, Debbie. You're going to cookie later though. And I'm so excited about that picture you sent me, which I won't say in case someone is watching. Hello, Miss Karen. How are you? Hi, Kat. How are you doing today? Hello, Sally. Yeah, seriously, I did. And so it bounced back, which is why I said I'd go live at 12:05. I needed a few extra minutes. So weird, right? So I guess I'm glad they sent me an alert though, because I would have hate for the whole text and have not gone out. So if you're here with me, I have this. Oh, you gave it to her already. Cool. So Debbie bought a present for one of our newest cookiers. We're converting her. She was not a cookier before. And we affectionately call her Whoopi because she sent Whoopi pies to us for our Unplugged retreat. So Miss Cindy, if you are watching, I'm so excited about the gift that Debbie gave you. And I can't wait to see what you fill that supply box up with. Hey, Dee Dee, how are you? Hello there. Okay, so I wanted to put this up one last time because the mystery boxes have now all been shipped, all the ones that were made. So there's none of those left. So if you go to the website, that's going to show sold out. But there is one space available if you want to attend the live online virtual cookie decorating retreat. I remember I told y'all I wanted to keep it small because this is something that you haven't done before and we haven't taught it before. So I didn't want too many people in the actual live stream next week so that we could actually have personal attention. So there is one space open in the I'm attending live and going to be asking questions spaces. Anybody else that wants to sign up for replays on this piece that we're making, this Under the Sea Spectacular piece, if you want to sign up for just access to the replays, you can buy it. I put it back up again today at the discounted price, just because some people didn't understand how this particular retreat was working. So this is not one you have to go to in person. You don't have to travel anywhere. You can do this from your own home and you can watch the videos later. And we are doing everything live in real time, except you will have your dough made ahead of time. So, and we'll talk about that more in the group over the next couple of days, but we're even going to bake real time. Okay. So anyway, there's one space left if you want to be able to pop in and out of the live. So I'm left that up there for a second. You can see where that is. Also, if you could please, after this live stream, oh, and someone else ordered that last box last night. That box, Jennifer, that box has been shipped. So you'll be getting a tracking update in a little bit. And I think the last thing that I wanted to tell you, if you watched last night, I had, I'm going to try to take this off really quick so you can see me. And by the way, I have crazy curly hair again because it's super humid. So I have my fascinator on today. Okay. This is my fascinator that I'm going to wear at CookieCon just to cover up all this going on, going on back here. So I thought, I had some questions last week from people that were watching when we did some fondant things. Let me say hello to a few more people. Hey, Miss Barbie, how are you? Debbie's already working on it. That's awesome. Hey, Barbara. Hi, Kim. How are you guys doing? So last week, or maybe the week before, I showed you guys these containers. They're wilt and flower forming containers. And then I showed you how to take pieces of the nonstick foil and line this to make your own cups. So I want to go back over this again today for the morning video only because I guess hopefully she's going to return them, but I guess somebody left from the video and didn't understand why I was explaining to use the aluminum foil to make your own and bought a whole bunch of packs of these. And these are really expensive. So don't do that. Okay. So I wanted to talk to you again really quickly. I think we need a little more light too. Does this video seem dark today? I don't think I turned let's do that. So, I just want to talk to you again today about this. So when you're forming flowers, first of all, someone asked me to show you this too. Let's start here. So these sets that I posted for you, you can use any of them. It doesn't have to be just the 5-petal. This is one of the sets of 4. So I want to show you that. This is the heart-shaped one that I showed you last week, a set of 3 graduated sizes. This is the set of 4 of 5-petal. It's 4 in the set, but it's a 5-petal. And I posted that link for you guys last week to get these. You can get them in a set with all of them coming together. And there's even more than that in some of these sets if you look around online. And then someone sent me a message and asked me, could they use these? These are fondant cutters too. You see the flat ones, no plunger? Absolutely. The answer is yes to all of those questions. And you can see this is not even all of mine that I've collected over the years because, you know, I used to use them primarily for cakes. So this is some larger ones that you can actually press cookies out in or make big flowers. I love this one. This is so pretty. It makes beautiful daisies. If you ever do like a Wedgwood blue icing and then a white petal and a yellow center daisy, and then use your cake piping tip to pipe petals. These are beautiful for springtime cakes and stuff. So they even have snowflakes, you guys. You're not limited to flowers. So I guess someone hadn't seen these before. New to us in cookies and cakes and all that. So I just thought I'd show you some of the stash so you could see the different shapes that are out there. And then, you know, just look around on Amazon because they sell out pretty fast. And so then what happens is you think the set's gone, but really they've just put it up under a different number because maybe they took out one kind and put in another kind. So look around for that. These are a lot of fun to play with. So I wanted to show you that. And then they also asked me a couple of questions last week. Now look, that's just one bag. There's like 5 bags on my table right now because I brought everything here. But here's a whole nother bag with different shapes. So you can get into it. Start with the basic 5-petal is my recommendation because it's the easiest to make it look like a real flower. But you can get into this any way you want. So back to this, don't buy a whole bunch of sets of these unless they're like, you know, clearance for 50 cents or something, then okay, fine. But, and there's the large ones are really for like cake use. These smaller ones will work on cookies, but I actually find it's easier to make my own holders because then I can, make them really small so that they're more perfectly suited for cookies, like plaque cookies, wedding cookies. So these are just ones that I formed around these that came in the set. But you can also use a mini cupcake tray. You can line it with press and seal or with aluminum, nonstick aluminum foil, and you can form your cups in a tray like that because they were worried about moving all these little cups around too. So use a cupcake tray. You can use the center of a paper towel, a roll of paper towels, cut this in half, and you can use both sides and just lay them in that. Of course, cover it because that's cardboard. So cover it with something food safe like press and seal or nonstick foil, but lots of way to form your flowers. Okay. So that's what I wanted to talk about this morning because I didn't want you to spend a bunch of money on stuff that you don't need. Okay. Yes, egg cartons. Now be careful if you do use an egg carton. Just because it's an egg carton, you still need to line it because there's always the chance that an egg broke or something got on that carton. So still line it with something food safe since that's not normally a washable item unless you get the styrofoam ones. And these are some petals that I made up last night. I'm going to show you another little trick because they were concerned about using fondant tools. And basically, you guys, I just want you to jump off and get your feet wet on these things so that you try them because they're not so frightening once you try it one time. Once you play around with it just a little bit, it gets easier and easier. And then have some, centers if you want to use these. These are PME sugar pearls. These are the little Wilton Gold ones. If you want to do that instead of piping the centers, that'll make it a little easier for you. If you're making really small flowers, you can use the little nonpareils. You see, those are much smaller. If you want to make larger flowers, these are just sixlets with chocolate in the middle. So we're going to use this, and I'm going to use my edible glue that I got on clearance when I was in Florida, or on sale, not clearance, at Hobby Lobby. I think this came from this, and it's already in the nail polish bottle because I had sent you guys the empty unused nail polish bottles in one of your, this always sticks on me and I have not good arm strength in this hand or hand strength. Let me see if I can get it open. There we go. I had sent you the bottles and given you a recipe to make edible glue. So I wanted you to see what this actually looks like. This is edible glue. So yes, people really use this bottle. Manufacturers really use this bottle. I think they're super handy because the bottle's heavy and weighted, and then you can brush it on with this. So I like these. You can make your own. If you've taken a couple of my classes where we used edible glue, there's a free recipe in there for you. So if you're afraid of using the basic fondant tools, or maybe you're not afraid of it, but you're just not ready to go down that path yet because you haven't done that before to make the veins and ridges. So on Amazon, they sell these presses. These are just, they're for use with fondant, and they're veiners. Okay, so I just used my little 5-petal punch that I just showed you a minute ago, rolled out my fondant until I could almost see through it because I like it that way. I like for the petals to look like the light can pass through like on a real flower. I popped it out. Then I just laid it in here and I used this veiner to just make creases in it. It didn't even have, it doesn't matter to me even what direction it's going. I just wanted it to be veined on both sides, have some ruffles to it, okay? So if you're just getting started, just grab any one of these you have. It doesn't even matter which one. I find that the one that has more detail in it is better for what I'm using it for, but you can, this is just the one I had handy to make it easy for someone that's just starting out. And then I made graduated sizes of petals with those cutters. So let me just show you that. And I put them in there so they would dry with dimension to them. Do you guys see that? Everybody still with me? So I'm going to line them up, and I try to put these together within, I don't know, maybe 12 hours of when I form them. I try to go back and put them together so that they're still slightly posable. Like a couple of these are so thin that they're going to be too dry. Like I can form them a little bit, but I made these almost 24 hours ago now, so they're not as flexible. The problem with them being too flexible is as you layer them and stack them, all the petals just stick together and fall on each other. So anyway, I've got my sizes lined up here. And what I would normally do is just start with this. You can do this with water too if you don't have edible glue, but I just wanted to take this video as an opportunity to show what the edible glue looks like again. You definitely don't have to use it if you're using straight fondant. You can just use a little dab of water or a damp brush. Now I'm going to offset my petals. So you see that bottom one, Let me grab my little fondant tool here because I like this for lifting as I attach them together. So I'm just going to make sure that glue is attached, and then I'm going to use my fondant tool. I've got my petals offset. You see why I'm saying it's nice? You don't want them too dry. You don't want to wait too long to do this because you want to be able to pose them a little bit. And you see how nice that just having that little bit of ruffle in there is. So just another dab of glue. We're going to continue to do this. I'm going to try to form them just a little bit before it goes in. And we don't need to use all of these. Another little trick that someone asked me to explain, they saw me use scissors. Sometimes I just go in here and make these cuts a little deeper if I'm going to start overlapping my petals, or if I need to break my petals completely apart. Like if something's just a little too stiff, I'll cut all of the petals apart and place them in one at a time. So I'm just using this to attach. So that's a great little flower already done right there. Do you see? Already done. It's holding its shape because they're almost dry. I like to do this and then I love this exaggerated center. These actually look really cute if you fill the middle with nonpareils, like put a little edible glue in or water, put the nonpareils in. If you're doing nonpareils or candy, I would recommend using the edible glue because sometimes the water doesn't keep them in there permanently. But I like this. Just drop this in. I like the exaggerated big middle, but that's just kind of a style thing. It's not that it's a particular plant. It's more of a style issue. So I've got that dropped in. This is going to dry. Now, the only thing I didn't do with you right now that you can do yourselves after you practice with this, if you want to, this would be a great time to take like some sterling pearl, gold pearl, or brilliant sparkle, or super pearl. Any of these from the Sugar Art. You guys probably have all of these because they've been on lists for classes over the last year and a half. But isn't that the cutest little flower? And my point is, while they're like this, you might want to dry dust them before you start assembling them, or use a dark pink and a light pink and maybe do a little dry dusting just coming from the center coming out. It'll make all these veins, all these little impressions we made in the flower, it'll make them all pop out just a little bit more. So just a couple little tricks for you with this. If you're just getting started, this is good for people that are afraid to pipe buttercream flowers, but they want something fancy to tie what they're doing on their cookie to a cupcake topper, or to use matching flowers on a cake. So these can all be made well ahead of time. If you're in an appropriate climate, I have to preface this again, I prefer to make these using a blend of fondant and modeling chocolate, but there are just some times of the year where I live that is simply not possible, because no matter how many times you caution a client that something can't stay in a car for even 5 minutes because buttercream will start to disintegrate or the icing will start to slide. No matter, they always think, oh, it looks fine and it's only going to be a minute, and then the heat goes up to 100 degrees in their car, right? So for photo shoots, for anything that's going to be outdoors for any length of time, I'm talking in the summertime, anything 5 minutes or greater, you've really got to find a way to get the super cute decorations for your cakes and your cupcakes and your cookies where they won't melt, slide, or fall off. And this is one way to accomplish that. In the cooler times of the year, a fondant modeling chocolate blend is so much fun to work with and to sculpt, and very forgiving. So this is just a cutesy that I wanted to show you. And I wanted to clear up questions for last week about, could you only use that particular fondant cutter plunger? No, the answer is no. There's tons of them on the market. They all work about the same way, but this is just an idea of an assembled flower. It's 3 petals and a candy in the center, and I'll do some dry dusting on this. You absolutely, Barbie, could use piping gel. Just don't thin it down. You're going to want to use it in its thick state, like it comes out of the container, and then use it sparingly. So absolutely, you could use that. The edible glue, water will work for assembling your flower, but when you need to really be concerned about the edible glue is when you go to add that additional candy or those sprinkles, because you want that to dry hard. Also, you guys, If you do the dry dusting and then you spray these with confectioner's glaze, like a can of PME, of course, I'm going to caution you anytime you use PME spray glaze, the stuff is fantastic, but do it outside or in one of the airbrush tents so that it contains everything, because whatever that gets on, it's staying on forever. It's almost impossible to get off. So don't do it around your computer, any of your equipment, even on stainless steel tables. It's a nightmare to get off. However, it's really beautiful on here. And PME also has colored spray confectioner's glaze in gold and a few other colors. So for particular weddings, this like with the rose gold sprayed over this baby pink, like just lightly highlighting it, would save you all your dry dusting time, and you'd have a shimmery, shiny flower. So this is just a base flower to get you started, just a base. Okay. Not a lot. Now, the last thing I want to talk to you about today, that is our morning video. We're going to do something totally different tonight because I didn't want both videos to be about this today. But I think this is a good informational video for you guys to get you started, especially summertime. Like, we're not even into August yet, where everything is just super, super, super hot. You can boil an egg on the sidewalk type thing, or fry an egg on the sidewalk, I guess. So just some tips for you if you're like really struggling right now with the heat. A lot of you live where it's over 100 degrees right now. So just a few things that you could very inexpensively dabble in. Is that even a word? I'm not sure. But for very little expense, how about I word it like that? You can dabble in this and you'll probably find that you really enjoy it. It's super stress relieving. I find making flowers like this, I just put a show on or a cookie tutorial. I get on my YouTube channel. I put something on that I need to play, and I just work on these while I'm listening to something, and I can make so many of these in a short amount of time. So I can have them ready to go for somebody that maybe doesn't plan as well as I do. So they call it the last minute and need an emergency order for a baby shower or something. Well, when they need a rush order, they're not as picky about what's in their rush order, right? So I try to keep pink ones and blue ones of these made all the time because they're super cute. I can charge my normal price for them, but they're ready to go for those last minute shoppers. To where you're not stressed, but you can still take their order and try and make another client happy. So just a little go-to for you on these. And again, if anyone's wondering, that's a 6-lit. I like the exaggerated size, but it is really cute with like 3 or 4 of these Wilton gold sprinkle beads in there, or 3 of this larger 7mm PME sugar pearl. Those are really good in there. I like to try to use things that if people actually eat this, that it's softer when they bite into it. So, you know, that's just me, but something fun for you to play with for the summer. And they're pretty, right? Do you guys like that? Hey, Mary Jean. Hi, Lavelle. Okay, so let's talk about one more thing, and then I'm going to let you go. I have a delivery coming for the backyard, and I want to make sure that I'm out there when they arrive. So one more thing. Last night we talked about, yeah, you can use the colored 6-lits. And the thing that's good about the 6-lits is they already have that confectioner's glaze or candy coating seal on there. See, they're really shiny already, so you don't have to do anything to them. But I keep a ton of these yellow or gold ones handy because I like to paint mine with a shinier gold. So I like to put them in the flower and then just do a little, you know, if I want something super shiny, I'll use the non-toxic. If I want something just shiny, a little more that I don't want to knock off the yellow, I want it to be more gold, then I'll use my sugar art. And we've done the experiments with those where there's like 5 different sugar art ones. So I paint 6-lits because they already have that color seal on them. I paint them you know, using what we just discussed in the gold or a paintable color, because they've got the seal on them already. So anything else, you can't dry dust color them like we do nonpareils because the color won't stick because it's already got confectioner's glaze on it. But yes, there are ways to do that. But it's just as cheap to run to Walmart, to the party aisle, and they have those bags of candies up, and they've got like a rainbow bag. You know, I always sort my colors to what my project is. So behind me here, I've got like pink, green, and white together. I've got a bag of yellow. I've got my primary colors sorted separate, and I've got some gold. So just, you know, you use them as long as you use them up. Stick with what you're going to use the most because there's chocolate in the middle. And then they're edible. If you're not using them up, put them out and serve them at a party in a little side bowl or something, right? And bill the client for that. And then just put a little bowl out with the remainder in there, whatever you didn't use in your order. There's always a way, ladies. Okay, so last night, one thing I told you guys to do, and I'm going to double check this. The reason I saved this for the end is because I'm about to send all of the people that signed up last night, the VIC people, actually, I'm going to do it right now while we're on the phone. So if you are on here and you signed up as a VIC, a very important cookier, and there was requirements to be able to sign up for that, I'm going to put this up here again. It's for anybody who has financially supported the cookie side of my business that is a cookier, okay? So I asked you guys last night to text the letters VIC, all capital letters, all placed together, to our texting phone number of 540-870-0726. I am sending all of those people a text message right now. And I'll tell you when I get mine because I'm also in the list. If you do not receive a text message, then I want you to resubmit today because there's about 4 or 5 people that I can't verify whether they actually made it onto the list or not. And we counted 26 people in the live stream last night that were texting. And currently there's 31 people in the group. So I'm just typing the words test, test, test. If you signed up properly, okay, the message was sent and I just got the alert. If you did everything properly last night, you're going to get a text that says test, 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 and you're done. You don't have to do anything else. If you signed up last night and you don't receive the text that says test, 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 please do it again. Text the letters VIC for very important cookier to 540-870-0726. And that will get you all set up. Okay. And now I have to run. There is someone making a delivery, but I will be back with you tonight at 7. And I really enjoyed this morning. You guys have a great day. Bye.